that's the day I realized that this is my true passion, and I'm going to pursue it simultaneously along with the rest of my career.
I have this unreasonable target of being financially independent at 21.
This question has been asked to me in all the IM interviews that I sat for. Why are you here?
Hey everyone, ISTE NITK is back with another podcast show. I am your host, Rohan Suratkal, and today with us we have the amazing Caslynn Qusay Naha. She's a 19-year-old CA aspirant and one of India's youngest social media influencers with more than 70,000 plus followers on Instagram. And she's known for creating awareness about the stock market, trading, becoming financially independent. And the biggest part is that she does all through that through her very interesting Instagram reels that's very engaging, fun to watch, creative, and it just connects easily with the youth. She's currently pursuing her BCom at the HR College of Commerce and Economics in Mumbai, Maharashtra. Thank you, Caslynn, for being with us here today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. I'm delighted to be here. And I think you gave me a very good introduction, so I don't think there's anything I could add on.
So should we get started?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
For this particular podcast, I was going through an Instagram feed and I learned so many things, through that process that I never knew before. I'm personally very interested in trading, stock markets, but there are so many things that I didn't knew. And I wish I would have found your Instagram before. So it was that intrigued me. Like, how did Sass with Cass begin? What was the process behind it? Did you always wanted to do such a thing? I just wanted to know how did it all happen?
Like this Sass with Cass, the profile, right? So it was just something like I liked making videos and, putting it out there for the public. Like I have been doing this for a while, but then, going public with it was something I was skeptical about. So last year in November, I think, I made this account and I was like, let's do this karke. The Sass with Cass was this name that was given to me by my friends. Like we were playing this game and we had been asked there, what would your friends reality TV show's name or something will be. So they were like Sass with Cass, and that just stuck around. And then I was like, you know what, maybe I can build something on this. And I just went on to create a profile and then just started uploading reels and making whatever I felt like. So something just naturally came. It was not like I was set on no, I need to make these many followers or something. So
I mean, Sass with Cass is such a catchy name that it makes you think that, okay, let me just go and check what the page is all about. I think that's the best part about it. Okay, this question is a bit serious. Being a student myself, I know how gruesome it can be managing your academics, your personal life, your social life. And to top all of that, you have your CA preparations going on. You need to keep putting out your content, so that your followers also stay with you. So I just want to know what's the secret to managing all that time so efficiently. I just want to know that. What's the secret sauce?
There's no secret sauce as such. We all talk about time management so much that we forget the main part is time prioritization, right? How much priority you want to give each task that you carry out in your life. It's not about, you give out 2 hours to this, 3 hours to this. That is not how it works. You have to prioritize, how much time and how important or urgent is this one task that you have to carry out. So prioritizing was the main key. And also picking up stuff that I love. Whatever I'm doing right now, I love it. I love studying for CA. I love making content and I love trading. So there's nothing that I don't like doing in this mix. So it has never been a problem as such. So it's basically just prioritizing.
That makes so much of sense right now. speaking about Sass with Cass, do you feel there's some pressure to, to keep putting out good content, so that your to put out engaging content so that your followers keep sticking around? Is there any undue pressure? And how does it feel being a social media influencer in a space that not many people know about exists?
Okay, so about the pressure thing, there was this newfound pressure for me like a few weeks ago. Like when I just started out, it was something I did for myself. Like whenever I wanted to take a break or something and I wanted to do something, I would shoot videos and just put it out. Then like the amount of followers started increasing and people started expecting stuff from me. So I was like, oh God, I need to put out quality content. I need to make sure I'm consistent and everything. So taking all this pressure, and I stopped enjoying what I was doing. Then just last week, I had this conversation with my friend. And then he was like, you started this as something that you love, you enjoyed doing. So why don't you just continue with it? Why are you taking this unwanted pressure? Post when you want to, like whatever you feel like. It doesn't have to be under pressure, because whatever I posted before, that is what got the followers in. And they had no rules or anything like that, something they were holding me against or something. They came for me. So thing is to be just yourself. So that was just some undue pressure that I took upon myself for no reason whatsoever. But now I think I'm almost over it, but then it remains somewhere or the other. And as for the second part, like being in this arena, like this financial, like being an influencer in the finance. Now, I think there are a lot of finance influencers coming up. Like there are a lot of pages I feel right now, but when I just first started out, I think there weren't many. It feels nice, honestly, because, you are infotainment content, right? You're providing value to people in a way. And people, there are so many followers just thanking me like every day. Thank you so much for this. Like this got me started with my investment journey. This got me started with my trading journey. And that genuinely makes my day. Like someone actually got started with investing because of me. So that is what keeps me going. And that feels amazing. So,
that's really great to hear. Like, speaking, like you spoke about the new influencers that are coming up in your space. So how do you feel about the community? Is it supportive? Like how is the community right now?
It's very supportive. Like I'm connected with almost all the financial influencers. It's very fun. We have this WhatsApp group also where we keep sharing, and then we have these clubhouse sessions. It's very fun. It's It's because we have our own like areas, and then how we convey like our information or content. It's our own style, and it's amazing staying connected with all of them.
I mean, that's really great to hear. Speaking a bit more about trading, let's getting into that perspective. Like I've been studying engineering for I think 2-3 years now. Before that, I was pursuing my science, but there were never any subjects. There were never any courses that helped me, become financially literate or make better decisions regarding my finances. So do you think coming from a commerce background helps you with your trading practices, with your investment decisions?
It didn't exactly help me with the trading or investment decisions. It's something that I had to learn by myself, right? Like coming from a commerce background doesn't really help. It helps you lead in the direction, maybe, like there's this area of interest, like there's this area that could spark your interest, but that is it. They give you one paragraph or something about trading and investing, and that is it. But then if it genuinely sparks your interest, you go on to read more about it and learn more about it. That is how you go about it. So like there's no actual subject which will provide you the financial literacy that you need to get out there and stay in the world and then build your money.
So maybe that's something that our education system still needs to work on. I think that would be a point to think of. I have been reading about the investment markets for quite a while. I have been investing long-term investments, but do you think as an expert or a person who really knows about trading and stuff, do you think are there any misconceptions? Are there any myths that we as non-experts blindly believe in or we blindly follow?
I'm not an expert if you were trying to convey that. I myself am
but
learning
you
a lot.
really know a lot of things that we as ladies don't really
You
know.
never know. But I'm saying, like, in a way, maybe to some extent, but not labeling me as an expert. That just okay. So anyway, there's these common misconceptions as like stock market is a gamble. That's the thing that pisses me off whenever someone says, like, stock market is a gamble, because if you know what you're doing, it is not a gamble. It is only a gamble when you don't know what you're getting into, what you're putting your money in. That is when it can be termed as a gamble. Like the Nifty is the index that represents a country, right? Now, would you expect your country's index to go down? Like, are you telling me that you do not believe in your country enough, that it won't grow? So it's basically like betting on your country's economy, right? Not betting won't be the right word, but then, in a way, like, supporting with your country's economy. So anyone who says it's a gamble doesn't believe in their country's economy. That is all I have to say.
Like continuing on that gambling point, like I did a bit of my own research, and hardly 2 to 3% of our population directly invests in the stock market or the trade market. So why do you think there's that hesitancy among the Indian population that we should not go into investing or trading? Let's stick to the general FDs and saving deposits.
Again, that gamble thing comes into the picture, and also the lack of education and financial literacy in the country. And also there's one more story that all our families have, that one chacha or someone who lost his entire capital to the stock market. So this is something we should not get into. Well, if you get into anything with no knowledge or half knowledge, you're bound to lose, right? Yeah. So it's more about gaining the financial literacy and the education that you need before coming in with your money here. That is it.
Talking about that, do you think what could be technical difficulties? What could be difficulties that a person faces who's just starting out, who doesn't really know from where to begin? So what piece of advice would you have to give for them, people who are just starting out?
See, the first step that you even thought of starting out is amazing, because like you said, pointed out, only 3% of the population actually invests. So just having the thought is amazing. Now what you need to do is keep going at it. Don't give up, because everyone starts somewhere. Because when I see myself, like, I had zero knowledge about any of this last year. Like around this time only. This time around last year is when I actually started thoroughly studying about the stock market. And now I feel like I've come somewhere like there, the last year Caslynn would be proud of. So it's like more about being consistent, more about learning every single day and not giving up. Because we have all come from somewhere, right? Like in the nursery and first grade and all, we are learning our ABCDs, and then we go on to form words, and then we go on to form sentences. And now we are reading out whole paragraphs. That didn't happen overnight. We took years, like at least 5 to 10 years, right? So like from there to here, it takes time. The stock market is a whole entire world that you have to start studying from scratch, and not just expect miracles to happen overnight. So yeah.
That's such a great piece of advice. I think our listeners would definitely, catch on to that. Like from the bookshelf behind you, I can see that you're a bibliophile. So are there any books that you'd like to suggest to people who are just starting out, some good recommendations for them?
Okay, so there's this one book, ETFs and Indexing. Then there's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And then The Dhando Investor. And then Basics of Stock Market by Jitendra Gala. So these are some basic books that they can get started with.
That's nice. I think I have to ask a controversial question now. What do you prefer, investing or trading, and why?
Okay, so see, I love trading, but then I know I can lose my entire capital in trading the one day, I'm emotionally imbalanced or something. Whereas in the case of investing, you can just put your money in a company that you believe in and then forget about it, because it's a long-term plan, right? Because you believe in the company, believe in the company's growth. So I'm a pro investor, but I love trading. So investing is the way to go, especially if you're just getting started. Like trading shouldn't be a priority. Trading should be as little capital as possible, because you can definitely zero your capital in one day, in a minute, maybe. Right. So, but then investing is the way to go. Investing requires patience, practice, knowledge, and then it's amazing. Investing is beautiful because consistent, slow returns, but then you're sure that it will be fruitful in the end. Whereas trading, you influence the decision a lot.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of true. Like in investing, you see a baby grow from its taking small steps and, becoming this huge thing at the end of 20 years, 30 years. It's really great to, feel that.
Investing is like 20% of it is you, and then 80% of it is like waiting and watching and seeing. Like, you're not exactly playing a role in it. We humans want to, manipulate and speculate a lot. That happens in trading. 80% of it is you being involved, 90% even you being involved, and you're bound to make tweaks and this, which might just end up not being in favor of you. So,
people often complain that they don't want to get into trading because the blue chips are way too expensive, like Honeywell, Nestle, and penny stocks are just not worth buying. So right. I think you are the best person to break that bubble. So you could tell us a bit about your trading journey. What was your initial capital, your ups and downs in the trading markets?
Okay, firstly, if you think that a stock is too expensive, you're wrong. Focus on the percentage basis, okay? Percentage returns. What you're doing right now is putting your money in an FD, which gives you like 4 to 5% of returns. Whereas these stocks will give you at least 10% and up. That is what has been shown. Like the historic data, if you go on to see the historic data, majority of these stocks, there are stocks which have given amazing 100% returns and all. But then if we go on like on an average basis, like the Nifty 50 stocks or something, they've all given like around 10 to 15% returns on a yearly basis. So percentage term is something you have to focus upon. And about my trading journey, how it started was basically like back in 9th grade, I think. My dad showed me his phone and then he was showing me there are these stocks and these stocks have prices and they move. And then my mind was blown. I was like, we can buy shares of a company? What? Like I didn't even know the shares wala word, but then like you can buy a part of the company. That just blew my mind. And then I forgot about it. And that was it, because it's like you're a kid and then you're just like, okay, this is amazing. And then you just forget about it. Then in 11th and 12th, I was, familiarized with it again. Like I had this project where we had to make this, do some research on these 5 companies and then present it to them. So that also gave me some exposure. And then I was like, okay, I need to study about this more. And then lockdown is the time where I actually got fully into this. And I'm like, I need to learn this. I need to know about this. That is when I got into it. And plus, I didn't know about the investing side of it when I actually got into it. Like, see half knowledge kind investing. So it was like, that was like, you can close your positions on the same day. So I started out with only trading. So that is why I was only given exposure to trading. So that is how I started out. And my initial capital was around, I think, 10K, which I ended up investing in Vodafone Idea because I saw this news that Amazon is going to buy Vodafone Idea. So I was like, this share prices are going to skyrocket. So we have got to have a part in this. And we can all see how that ended up.
By the way, even I am a Vodafone Idea shareholder.
High five. I use that SIM also. Please tell me you use Vita SIM and support.
I don't. It's
that is ouch. But okay.
I think this one's my favorite question. Like 2021 has been great for IPOs. We have had Mindtree, Nazara Technologies, Zomato, Burger King. So is there any IPO that you're specifically targeting for? And which IPO are you the most excited for?
See, I'm new to this IPO world myself. Like, I applied for my first IPO a few days ago, Zomato. It's listing tomorrow, and I'm shit scared. I'm very scared. I didn't even want the allotment. I just applied for the sake of applying because FOMO, everyone's applying. Why aren't you applying? So I applied for one lot and I'm so scared now. I have no idea. And plus, let's see what happens.
I mean, it can be really anxious waiting for things to open up, checking your number, whether did you get it or not.
This is the first time I applied for an IPO and I don't know how it's going to end up. Hopefully it ends up well.
Fingers crossed that you get it.
Let's go.
I think, coming to the end of the podcast, I think this is a very generic question that I have to ask. Like, what are your future plans, endeavors, once you're done with your bachelor's degree?
Bachelor's degree doesn't entirely play a role in my whole thing. I don't think, because especially when you're pursuing CA and doing BCom with it, BCom holds little to no relevance. Right. So, but then my future plans would be establishing a business. I want to establish a business empire and then actually be amazing at trading and then have an amazing portfolio. And all that is my future prospects. Let's see how soon I get that, and also be financially independent as soon as possible. I have this unreasonable target of being financially independent at 21, but let's see how that goes.
I mean, that answer gives me such Junjunwala vibes. That brings us to the end of this really amazing session that we had with Caslynn. Thank you so much, Caslynn, for being with us here today and, giving so much knowledge to our listeners. I'm sure that they are motivated to go start reading about it, start getting into the stock market, investing, and most importantly, becoming financially independent. Thank you so much for being here today.
It was a pleasure. It was great.
Thank you, Caslynn. It was lovely having you. Thank you to our listeners for sticking out till the end. This is your host, Rohan Suratkal, signing off. And until next time, stay home, stay safe.